What's the most obvious lie you've ever exposed in court? I was representing a 67-year-old janitor named Miguel, who'd been fired for allegedly stealing $500 from the company safe. This wasn't just any job. He'd worked at this startup for 20 years, watching it grow from 5 employees to 200. Never had so much as a tardiness write-up. The company seemed to have an airtight case. Their hotshot lawyer was practically gloating during opening statements. The CEO testified first, radiating confidence in his $3,000 suit. We have crystal clear security footage of the defendant entering my office at exactly 2 a.m. on March 15th. The safe was opened, and $500 in petty cash disappeared. Only 3 people have master key cards. Myself, my son, who's our IT manager, and Miguel. The head of security took the stand next, a former cop who loved playing detective. He pulled up the grainy black and white footage on a large monitor. As you can see, someone in a janitor uniform clearly uses a key card to enter the office. The timestamp shows 2 a.m. The person goes directly to the safe behind the CEO's desk. The footage was blurry, but you could definitely make out someone in work clothes moving around the office. The prosecutor was practically bouncing with excitement. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the evidence speaks for itself. The defendant had means, motive, and opportunity. He's the night janitor with full building access. My client looked absolutely crushed sitting next to me. Miguel had immigrated from El Salvador 30 years ago, worked 3 jobs to put his kids through college. This job was his pride and joy. He genuinely loved that company and talked about the employees like family. The whole time I'd been watching that security footage on repeat, something nagging at me. When it was my turn, I stood up with just my phone and a manila folder. Your Honor, before we proceed, I'd like my client to demonstrate something for the jury. Miguel stood up slowly, confusion written all over his weathered face. Please raise your right hand as high as you can. He lifted his arm, but it barely made it to shoulder height before stopping abruptly, pain flashing across his features. Miguel, can you tell the jury what happened to your shoulder? I tore my rotator cuff 3 months ago moving a filing cabinet at work. Doctor said I need surgery, but I can't afford to take time off. I pulled out a thick medical file. Your Honor, these are my client's medical records, provided by the company's own workers' compensation insurance. The injury was well documented. Miguel physically cannot raise his right arm above 90 degrees. The jury was paying attention now. I had the security footage played again, this time in slow motion. Watch carefully as the person reaches up to access the safe's top shelf. On screen, the figure smoothly extended their arm high above their head to input the safe combination. This motion would be completely impossible for my client to perform. A few jury members were nodding, but I wasn't done. I'd also like to submit these cell phone records. I handed a stack of papers to the clerk. They show that on March 15th, the CEO's son called in sick to work. However, his vehicle was photographed by the parking garage security camera at 1:58 a.m. that same morning. The CEO's face went from confident to ghost white in about 2 seconds. His son, a 28-year-old, shifted uncomfortably in the gallery. Furthermore, bank records show the CEO's son has been making cash deposits to pay off gambling debts, small amounts, always under $600 to avoid detection. The prosecutor was frantically shuffling papers, clearly blindsided. The CEO started whispering urgently to his lawyer. Your Honor, this isn't employee theft but a family cover-up. The CEO's son stole petty cash for his gambling, and instead of admitting it, the CEO framed an innocent employee. The case fell apart instantly. Within an hour, they were dropping all charges. Miguel received a settlement for wrongful termination that let him finally get that shoulder surgery. The CEO's son was arrested the following week.